Hey, 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 good morning. Good to see you jumping in live. This is a very special coach training. So I'm so excited that you're jumping in. I want to make sure that all of our tech is working well. I'm Dr. Shannon Irvin, if we haven't met yet. And we're going to work together over the next 3 days in an event, a coach's training called Coach Launch Accelerator. And this is really focused in on those who are the already coaches, or you're thinking about growing in your coaching business and you're wanting to do it the right way, and you're wanting to move to build a six-figure coaching business from home. And I am going to literally open the books, open the curtains, whatever you want to call that, and show you the step-by-step path that I used to get to from 0 to 10K a month to six figures and then on to multiple seven. What I teach my clients inside our coaches certification, so that you can start to see the possibility. You can start to see. So now we're going to get started right away. You're going to learn this. If you've been on my trainings before, then you know this is a relationship. I'm here to serve you and give you the very best information so it becomes revelation, so that you can get a transformation to create that inspiration that you have for the next level. So if you're just jumping in now, tell me who you are, and if you're just getting started as a coach, or you've been coaching for a while and you can't seem to get past that coaches and entrepreneurs glass ceiling. You can get a few clients, but not to the level of freedom in your coaching business that you would like. So just say, I'm an OG, I've been coaching for a while, or 1 to 2 years, or I'm just getting started. You're going to want to start getting used to that chat, because that's how I'm going to know really who is live with me here, so that I can make sure the training is just dialed in and relevant to you. So I see you jumping in. Good morning. And by the way, if you did not give StreamYard permission for me to know your name, I see Jennifer S. in the room. She's been going for about 2.5 years. So the person who just wrote, I just getting started, I don't know who you are, because StreamYard doesn't tell me unless you give it permission. So you can just put your name at the end of your comments so I know who you are, because that's really, really important to me. I don't do these trainings just to do the trainings. I do these trainings for you. Those of you who are wanting to be the very best coach in the industry, wanting to be the go-to person in your niche, and wanting to have sold out coaching programs. So I've got some of my certification client students and master certified neurocoaches in the room as well. Jackie saying she's just getting started, but she can't keep the consistency. That we're going to actually, Jackie, I love that you brought that up, because we're going to talk about the one reason why that's happening and happens to most struggling coaches. Good to see you, Lisa. You've been coaching for almost 2 years, but it's that business building, right? So whether you're just getting started, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, or you've been coaching for a little bit and you just can't seem to get that consistency, that traction that you're wanting to get, then this is absolutely the right training for you. So we're with each other for the next 3 days. So I want to keep every day really tight. Each day is building on the next. Excuse me. I was hosting my six-figure coach mastermind over the last 4 days in San Diego. So I've been talking a lot. So you'll see me drink a lot. I'm trying to get my voice back. All right. So not getting started yet. I was in Fast Forward Your Future a couple weeks ago while on vacation in another state. Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. And just getting restarted. I think that's amazing. So let's dive right in, shall we? If you're ready to become the go-to person in your niche, the most well-known coach, so that you sell out your coaching programs, I want you to say, I'm well known in the chat. I'm well known, because we got to start building that pathway in your brain so that you become it. So I'm going to be here the whole time. Let me let's remove those display names so you can see me the whole time. I'm well known, right? Because ultimately, when you're well known in the marketplace, people gravitate towards you like a magnet, start asking about your coaching programs. And so there is this important piece about becoming well known that we are going to learn over the next couple of days. Who's excited to get started? Who's excited to get started? Okay. So now that I know that we're all here, we're live, everything is working, I'm going to pop over here. You'll still see me the whole time I'm right here, but I'm also going to be using my slides because I got to keep myself on track. Because here's what I know, your brain has a limit for learning each time we do these things. And if I'm left to my own, I'll just train you for 3 or 4 hours. And that's what I get to do inside the certification. So this is what we're going to be talking about, getting ready to have what I call the the millionaire's code, getting consistent leads and clients as a coach. Or like some of you, you're just getting started to become a coach. And can I tell you, this is the quickest growing career online. I know what you're hearing in the news. I know what all the politician and news channels are saying about the economy. But in times such as these, this is when people invest to grow their businesses or grow their lives, they need coaches. And so the coaching industry in the last 6 months has quadrupled. So if you're in the coaching industry and you're not getting the traction you want, you're going to learn why and what to do about it in this next 3-day training. And if you're just getting started, wow, I'm so stoked for you because you're going to get to learn. That was the California that just popped out at me. You're going to get to learn how to do it the right way so that you don't have to spend years upon years of that struggle, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, right? So that's what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about how to sell your coaching program without the big, stressful, messy launches or that ugly, sleazy marketing. And this is the framework I teach my certification clients to go from their first sale to their 6 figures and beyond with no list, most of them when they come in, and no launching. It's really how the brain allows success. That if you were in Fast Forward Your Future, you know a little bit about that. And it's what I've used exclusively to build my business to where it is now. And that's why I want to show you all the things that no one else is talking about online in terms of growing your coaching business. So we're going to crack the 6-figure code. Here's what I want to know. Say, crack the 6-figure code if that is what you want to do. If the financial freedom, the freedom to work on your terms, the freedom to create the life that you want is why you're in it. So crack the 6-figure code is what I want you to learn in this training over the next few. So if you want to crack the 6-figure code, just put 6-figure in the chat. 6-figure. Beth, this is how we know that our most passionate learners. This is how I'm going to know. And Beth is on my team. We're really wanting to support the people who are like, no, not only do I want to get my business to 6-figure and beyond, I must get my business to 6 figures and beyond. And that's probably why you're on this training. So let's go, shall we? All right. So I'm going to talk to the step by step. We're going to learn the Coach's Millionaire Code, this brain-based, science-backed coaching certification. I am going to talk about that. The doors are opening again for that. And so I'll be able to share a little bit about that with you. And here's the key: how to confidently coach the right way so that you get transformations. And this is the special sauce. When you get transformations for clients 100% of the time, you create raving fans who sell your coaching for you. Can I get an amen for some other team of people that you've helped actually selling your coaching for you, right? That's part of what we're going to share today. And listen, I share this a lot. You might have heard this story, but I am not a special unicorn. When I was trying to grow my own coaching business, I had to solve my 2 biggest problems, which was, why can't I get my business past this glass ceiling? Put glass ceiling if you're like been in it, but you keep bumping your head up against 1 to 2 clients, 2 to 3 clients, and then starting over and stop and start and stop and start. I was right there. So I had to solve that. And I also needed to solve why I didn't think and take the actions and have the same beliefs as my mentor. did. And so I was at that stage where I was just actually had the opportunity to find out that I was pregnant with my firstborn. That was 16 years ago now. And when I found out, I had that dreaded feeling of like, oh my gosh, I've got to give something up. And I can't even really get this business where I want it to be anyway. And I was running our charity as well. And I just felt like everything I wanted to do was be a mom, but I wanted to be the kind of mom where I was present and I was at his games and I was at what he was into and I was at peace and felt joy and felt free. Right, free, if that is a goal of yours, whether it's you, whether you have kids or not, you have this desire to live life in a way that isn't so constrained from a glass ceiling above you and from everybody else's authority around you. Like it's time, you want to see this business take off. And that's exactly where I was when I found out I was pregnant with my firstborn. And I had one of those ladies that are here, you understand the ugly cry, right? Put ugly cry if you understand it. Like I was in one of those ugly cry moments where I was like, all I want is to be a mom. And at the same time, I really want to grow this thing and I can't quite figure it out. That frustration of feeling like I have to give something up. And so as I was in this massive ugly cry moment, I felt like God really put on my heart, what if it's an and? What if it's an and? And I was like, okay, that interrupted the ugly cry long enough for me to go, what do you mean? And as I started thinking about who has a life that has both family first, their faith first, and yet they're slaying their business. And so I thought of someone who is someone that I ultimately pulled $50,000 out of my savings account to go coach with. And I'll be honest with you, I was in super skeptical mode because I was like, well, I'm probably going to find out she's got a million people working for her, and that's how she's able to do it. And what I found out was she thought differently about money. All the strategies she was doing, I was doing. All the marketing she was doing, I was doing. This is one of the things I'm going to teach you that keeps so many broke coaches broke, like I was, because we get it upside down. And I'm going to talk about that. So all the strategies, all the tactics, all the marketing, all that stuff I was doing, just like her. The difference was she thought differently about money, about worth, about enoughness. And that had me take a hard right turn and start to learn, why does her brain work differently than mine? It's just the way God wired me. I thought about the brain. Why does she think differently? How is her brain wired differently? And I went so far as to get a PhD in psychology, focusing on neuropsychology, the science of success. Why does a brain able to create accomplishment, achievement, and why do other brains stay stuck? And that's really what came out of this whole time, was this model called the Sync Neuro Coach model, where you're able to remove limitations. And a lot of you are on my Fast Forward Your Future Challenge. So some of you are in 67 Day Year and you're getting coached by us through this model. But I'm not a special unicorn. I am just like you, solving the two biggest problems 15 years ago, which gave birth to the model that you're talking about today, and getting results for our certified neuro coaches like Barbara and Cindy. Like Barbara, who in 6 weeks, and truth be told, she would tell you actually in 4 weeks, because it took her 2 weeks to actually take the action that we put forward for her, build a path in her brain. But in 6 weeks, from zero, y'all, who wants to go from 0 to 101K? Put 101K in 6 weeks in the chat. Say me in the chat, because that's what Barbara was able to do by tapping into this model to transform your thinking, so that your thinking transforms your life. And that is the neurocoach model. We'll talk more about that. And by the way, she did that without a team or salespeople. Or Cindy, who launched her group coaching and in 2 weeks brought in $24,000. So why, again, and I'm going to say, not a financial guarantee. I cannot guarantee finances, but here's what I can guarantee. There is a right and a wrong way to coach. And we're going to talk about that. And, I want to ask you, how would your life change if you could enroll 10 new coaching clients every single month and keep the ones that you have? Tell me in the chat. Tell me specifically, how would your life change if you were able to do that? What would change in your life? If you knew without a shadow of a doubt, 10, maybe 20, maybe 30, as you start to multiply, what would that make possible for you? I see all of you with 101. Yeah, what would that make possible in your life? What would that make possible in your confidence? What would that make possible for your children? What would that make possible? Yeah, you'd be able to help others. You'd be able to be, Elizabeth says, more generous, more choices, be able to serve others. Financial freedom. Yes. No longer being tied to the narrative that you're bound by money. Life changing for yourself, Lisa. I love that. And for others. This is how I know you have the coach's personality type. And we're going to talk about that. Listen, there is a new opportunity right now in this economy. Unlike most economies, like in 2000, those of you who've been around long enough, those in 2008 that were prepared created massive financial freedom in the housing market because it dropped so low, right? So here's an opportunity that is in front of you right now that if you're doing things in the right order, you are literally catapulting yourself to the front of the line as a coach. It is the separation season. You might have heard me talk about that. In this economy, more coaches are being in, more coaching contracts are being sold than there were 3 years ago. Quadrupled over the last 4 to 6 months. So we're going to be talking about that because stuff like launching the old marketing guru strategies, the sleazy, salesy marketing tactics, yuck, it's dead in this market. It repels clients. Say anybody who's like, I hate that stuff and I feel so slimy when I try to sell. And those of you are just getting started, you're like, I don't want to sell like that. It's like the used car salesman, right? Ah, yeah, I got a deal for you. That's what it feels like, right? And so put like in the chat if you're like, that is why it's hard because I'm trying to do it like that and it feels so inauthentic. Here's what I love. If that's you, you're right on target. And so launching is dead. Coaches are not marketing products. This is not a coach. Like I can sell a phone with features and benefits and those kind of things, but coaching is an intimate ask. What you're asking for someone to invest in is this. I'm not where I want to be and I need help. That's vulnerable, right? Vulnerable if that's vulnerable. Or I have a result and I can't get to it on my own and I need some support, right? So it's either they don't have something that they need support getting, or they have something that they need support getting rid of. But either way, now I'm not talking about teaching, I'm talking about coaching, which you'll understand while you go through this training. 90% of any program online is 90% coaching, 10% teaching, right? So coaching requires a vulnerable ask. So there is an entirely different way to sell coaching. And that is why so many struggle. I'm going to take a little bit of a set. I haven't started because I don't want to be unauthentic. Well, you're in the right place to find out how to do it in the way that will be so authentic, so genuine, and literally unleash your freedom. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, absolutely. It's about fixing their problems 100%, but there is a right and a wrong way to do that as well. And we're going to dive into that. All right, let's go. So I can talk for a while because there's nothing that lights me up more than coaching coaches. I feel like we are the solution to so much of what's going on in the world right now. So we're going to talk about this proven system to master your coaching skills and monetize your business and make the biggest impact without wasting any more time second guessing or trying harder with nothing to show for it. And that just breaks my heart. Not on my watch. So we're going to be talking about how to get permanent brain-based transformation for your clients each and every time, which grows your coaching business fast. And like I said at the top, so you can create raving fans of your coaching that sell your coaching for you without those broken coaching tactics and sleazy marketing strategies. You get to be done with those. Can I get an amen for that? I think so. That's pretty powerful. So who is this for? Those that want to become coaches. You're going to get to learn. You're going to have such an advantage because you're going to learn the right way to coach to transformation each and every time, which will give you massive confidence to sell your coaching. And those of you that are already coaches, you're going to learn how to grow your coaching business fast and break that six-figure coaches barrier. And break that barrier. Who is this training not for? I'm just going to save your time if this is you. If you're not ready to take action to grow your business, not going to be for you. It's also not for you if you want to stay stuck with old, outdated systems and strategies, continuing to do those same things over and over again that just don't work as a coach. Like trying to do it that way is not going to work for you. And that's not worth teaching today. So, and it's not for you that think you need to jump from new to latest strategies instead of actually getting people results. All right. So we're going to hit the 3 keys to running a profitable coaching business that creates financial freedom for you. And these 3 things I want you to write down. These are things you're not going to hear anywhere else that we're going to go through over the next few days. There is a coach's personality type. So I'm going to give you a little test on this right now. In the room with me live, and those of you who watch on replay, do you feel like you really want to see and help people improve in your niche? Like, do you have such a heart to see them stop struggling? Say me, if you're like, I have to help people. That's why I'm a coach. Like I actually am the most happy when I see people get results. So if that's you, put like help. Like I love to help people. Like that personality that you just really love to see people. Yeah, look at all that. Me. I love helping people. This is at a core element of the coach's personality type. And we're going to be talking about this because it directly relates to how you sell. And if you're here on this call, I guarantee you have the coach's personality type. If you weren't any of the things that I told you not to stay on, if you were that, but there is a personality type for coaches, and knowing where you land on that personality type, it helps you sell so authentically. So that's something we're going to get to in our training. We're also going to talk about the Coach's Millionaire Code. Again, you're not getting this out there. This is literally step by step. You guys know I'm a step-by-step girl. So I love giving you like literally the places to put your feet to go from 0 to first sale, to multiplying those sales, to consistent sales, to 6-figure sales, and then beyond. There's a code, and there are very specific things. We're going to hit those codes a little bit today on what to do, what to think, what actions to take at each level. And what I see so many struggling coaches do is they skip levels hoping to get to this place, and they don't have any of the foundation. And so they slide right back down, right? Slide. If you've been a coach and you've had that feeling of getting some traction and then sliding back down, that's because you didn't know the Coach's Millionaire Code. So we're going to talk about that as well. And then I'm also going to break down this one process that the majority of coaches use that they're doing wrong, that block sales, like literally kink the hose for sales. So we're going to dive into those things over the next 3 days. And my goal for this training is you in this training knowing without a shadow of a doubt a predictable path to follow to create demand. Remember, I'm in demand, to create demand for my coaching, to get from 0 to 3K a month in clients to 6 figures and then on to 7 figures in my coaching business. Predictable path. I know I can follow it. So that's one goal for this training. The second goal for this training is to show you this path to brain-based science-backed transformation, to get 100% results 100% of the time. I'm just curious in the chat, if you knew that you could get results no matter what, how confident, right? Confident. If you know, like it would create massive confidence in you to be able to sell because you know that you know without a doubt you're going to get the transformation for your clients. Put confidence in the chat. All right. So the Sync NeuroCoach certification is the key to both of those things. Later on, we'll be talking about that. The doors are open. You have a chance to apply. I'm just going to be sharing that on and on. You're going to want to get in the certification room. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. The only way to grow your business is to know the right way to coach and to know the steps of the code. And that's what we go into in the certification. Now, those that are here live, when you stay to the end, I am going to give you something really cool. It's called the 6-figure launch roadmap. Now, I don't mean launch like traditional launch. I mean, this is what we call coach launch formula in our certification. Now, in the certification, I talk every single step and every single detail. But what I'm going to give you for staying to the end is the actual roadmap of the coach launch formula, and also a training called the 7 ways to monetize as a coach. It's a readable training that will give you ways you can start monetizing right now that actually align with being a coach, not a marketer. So all that is coming to you at the end if you stay online all the time through this training. And of course, that's not a promise of income. And just real quickly, if we haven't met yet, I'm a master business coach for the last, I got to change that, for the last 17 years. I help 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs. I'm also have a PhD in psychology with an emphasis on neuropsychology. I am the founder of the Sync NeuroCoach model, the NeuroCoach certification, and all that is in that, which is the Mind Matrix, STEBDAR, and brain priming. I'm an entrepreneur of multiple 7-figure businesses, and I'm also the founder. We're going on 19 years. I say I started when I was 5. Nobody believes me, but we have a charity that we've run for that long in a rural place in Uganda, helping kids who are orphaned due to AIDS. Both their mom and dad are gone, and they are heads of households, 5 younger kids. Because you know what? When I make money, I can make money matter. Making money means you can make an impact. And that's what we do. And I'm curious in the chat, who in this room, yes, you want to make money. Yes, you want to create financial freedom and have an experience of a life that you've dreamed of, but you also want to make a difference in other people's lives. Put difference in the chat if that's you. Like, I want to make, I don't want to just make money to keep it. I want to make money so I can make a difference. Write that in the chat. Now, while you're writing that, this is my why, my 2 whys: family, my people, right? Being able to experience new places, new experiences with my family while I'm still serving my clients deeply and getting to work with some of the most incredible entrepreneurs, coaching in their communities, helping them out, supporting them, partnering with them. Why? Because we're all on a mission to transform people's lives. So we're going to dive right into this one thing that the majority of coaches do wrong that literally blocks sales. And look at all you. I would take a dozen kids. Velma, I go to mosaicvision.org and sponsor some of them. But look at all of you that want to make a difference. I'm showing you another piece of the coach's personality type. We're going to deep dive on that in the next couple of days, but I'm just showing you that you are the person that has a coach's personality type that's really set to be successful. And that's what we break down inside the certification. So here we go. Are you guys ready? Hold on, because this is what most struggling coaches do. And I want you to know so you do not fall into any of these traps. So we're just going to go really, really quickly here. Number one thing, they chase broken marketing guru strategies, jumping from one course to another strategy, hoping and praying. I call it the pray and post, hope and pray that it will finally work. Just leaves you feeling pretty cruddy, doesn't it? And they also use broken coaching methods. You know, do what I do and try to think better. Are broken coaching methods that don't get consistent results, which leads to lack of confidence in their coaching. They also expect, and this is going to be a little bit of an ouch, but they expect their future clients to believe in them more than they believe in themselves. So they stay struggling. They also sell and market like a marketer because that's what they've been taught, not like a coach. Saying yes to coaching is different. I talked about that. It's vulnerable. Do you agree? It's put vulnerable if you agree that getting a coach is like there's a vulnerable piece to that. right? And so we launch differently, we sell differently, and that's one of the things that struggling coaches do. They coach, excuse me, they sell like marketers, not like a coach. And most struggling coaches make the mistake they can just interrupt patterns of language, use NLP, produce, have motivational things to get results for their client. And then the client gets off the call, does everything that they've told them to do in hopes that it works for them too, right? They don't actually change these hardwired brain-based belief patterns of thinking for their clients. So they float around getting inconsistent results, and then they can't get powerful testimonials because their clients' results aren't consistent, making it even harder to sell. And you've experienced this kind of really bad coaching before, because you'll be on even a guru's coaching call and they'll say, just think this way, just do this thing. And you'll go and you'll try and you'll be all pumped up, by the way. You'll feel great when you're on the call, but then you go out and you try and you take the steps and they don't work exactly the same as the coach said that they would work. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, it's not working. And I'm just curious, if you've had that experience, how does that make you feel about yourself as a client? Tell me in the chat. How does that make you feel when somebody has used a broken coaching method and they're telling you, do what I did, or just go do this thing, and you go and you do it and you try with all your heart, you try to follow it, but then blind spots, patterns, things about your past, things about your belief about yourself come in, and it makes you feel better or worse? Tell me in the chat. Better? Like, I can still do this? Or does it make you feel worse? Make you feel deficient, Lillian says, right? Makes you feel defeated, broken. Ugh, right? So that is why struggling coaches have to continue to sell and sell and sell and sell. Here, look, let's just be real about what's going on in the market. Is it growing? Yes, but this is also what's happening. There's no regulation, no government body. Anybody can coach. The coaching industry is full of untrained, uncertified coaches making a bad name for themselves. No ethics, no standards. They just, I call it the fire ready aim and hope it sticks method. There is a right and a wrong way to coach, and coaching is not what people need. Okay, lean in, lean in. This is one of those, if you take this away, you get it. So lean into this. Coaching, no one wants a coach. I'm a coach. No one wants a coach. All of you here want to become a coach, or are already a coach and want to grow. No one wants a coach. What they want is results. Write that in the chat. They want results. They want transformation. They want the result thereafter. They want the business to grow the way that they want. They want to lose the weight. They want to have the relationship. They want the result. I want you to write that down. They want the result. They don't want the coaching. They're getting coaching because they believe that it's the way to the result, but they're not wanting coaching. They're wanting the result. And so we'll dive deeper into that and how that applies to what you're saying. But who just had an aha? Who just had a like, oh my gosh. Oh, and I love, Velma, what you said. It takes them down also. We were talking about the broken coaching methods. It absolutely does. Do you know why? Because after a while, you start thinking, wait a minute, I'm not getting the results you said I could get. And you start looking at the coach too. And that's why they stop enrolling. Right? Right? Exactly. Okay. So you get the idea. Okay. So here, I want you to realize this. This is the first big or second big aha. Struggling coaches start. And by the way, if you've done this, there is no shame in this. In fact, 99% of people that I meet start here. And it's why, like, you can see that top triangle, very hard to balance a strategy, a growth mechanism that is based on very flimsy ability. So you see, like, imagine if it's a triangle and it's just based on that point, it's gonna fall one way or the other. And it's because struggling coaches start with gurus that sold them sales strategies, marketing strategies, social strategies, launches, guru marketing, causing them so much stress, so much frustration, which leads to so much lack of confidence. but it's what's out in the market. And they're all saying, well, to grow your coaching business, you need to have sales, you need to have this marketing, this messaging, this fill in the blank strategy. But they're learning the strategy before what actually makes the business grow. So it's not that those things are bad. It's not that I don't market. It's just I don't put it as the foundation of building a seven-figure business. Now, what seven-figure coaches build on is an entirely different foundation that allows for the rapid growth. And that's why you'll see people grow pretty quickly and you'll wonder, what do they have that I don't have? I see them in all these strategy programs. Why did they grow so fast? It's because they built on a different foundation. So in our Sync NeuroCoach certification, the foundation is teaching you how to coach the right way. So when you know how to coach the right way, you know 100% confidently that you can get your clients that transformation, and those clients become raving fans, and they tell people and they tell people and they join and they tell people. Now you create, now this is what I asked you in the very beginning. Now you start to get well known, right? Well known in the chat. Well known. And doesn't this feel more authentic? Like if I know what I'm doing, absolutely I know it, and I'm not using broken models, I'm not using guru models because they're not coaches. I'm using a model that actually guarantees that the brain transforms and gets the result and removes any blocks that might get in the way. Then I enter into that relationship so confident and so full of authority in that client's life to be able to guide them and to get them that transformation. They're ecstatic. They're telling everybody under the sun, you got to join her program. You got to join his program. They got me this result. They got me that results. Remember, they don't want coach, they want results. And when that happens, you start to become known. And then at that point, when we season in some of the marketing and some of that kind of thing, then it just blows up. But can I tell you something very exciting? Wouldn't it be amazing? We're talking about freedom, right? Wouldn't it be amazing to build a seven-figure business on a foundation that works so much creating raving fans, creating these transformations, that all you do is offer your program and it sells out? That it doesn't have to be these intense, big things, that it can just be a simple offer for all the people that they're already know you because of your reputation in the marketplace. Put easy if the idea of running an online coaching business like that just feels more aligned with the kind of life and the kind of business that you want versus chaotic, going from one thing to the next thing to the next, right? So this is why most coaching businesses don't grow. They're so busy on marketing and messaging, and it's not that you don't need them. But when you help one person, that one person tells one person. And if you help 10, they tell 10. If you help, then those 10 start telling 10. There's this compound interest that happens. And all of a sudden there's a buzz in the marketplace about you. That's what happens for our Sync NeuroCoach certification clients. They are like, they've got a buzz in the marketplace because people know them, right? All right, I'm going to check in with you because I've been looking. Yeah, we want it to be a path that is authentic, that is aligned, that we're well known, that there's a buzz, and we're just able to offer it, open the doors, and have people come in that want to come in, right? Or you can choose the very unsettling, stressful, frustrating way. And I'm just going to ask a moment of honesty, if you don't mind. If you've done this upside down method because it was the noise in the marketplace, no fault of your own, that's what I was trying to. But just write upside down if that's the method that you've been using and you're wondering why it hasn't worked up till now. That's for people who've already been coaches. If you're just getting started as a coach, how awesome is it that you get to build on the foundation that allows for solid growth to the top, right? Solid growth to the top. No worries, Elizabeth. It will be here for you. All right, let's keep going. I'm like looking at the time. I'm like, I'm hanging out with you this afternoon, sharing all this stuff you're not hearing anywhere else. And I'm getting really like wanting to get you to see it. So if we were together, I'd be like, look at this, like, look at these things, like, don't do it in a way that's hard. All right. So 3 keys to running a profitable coaching business. Key number 1 is this belief that you are in demand now. See, if you learn the right way to coach, can answer this in the chat. I'm going to think about the right way to ask this. Put demand in the chat if you think that if you 100% knew how to coach the right way, that people would 100% want that transformation. Put demand in the chat. So that's a key belief that the demand, see, I am in demand now, is a belief that we need to start building into your arsenal. Now, in the certification, we'll teach you how to coach the right way. We'll teach you coach launch formula. So it's that easy path to opening the doors that we teach inside the certification. I don't want anybody with a business, coaching business hobby. I actually want you to get to 6 and 7 figures. That matters to me. But it starts with this key belief that I'm in demand now. Because here's my question to you. And I need you to answer me in the chat. Can you help someone? Even if you're just getting started, have you been through something and you've figured out a path through it, around it, you've created a result for yourself in your life, and you want to help people have an easier way. You want to help people not have the same pitfalls that you had. You want to help people know the path to take. If that's you and you can help someone, at least one person, I want you to say, I can help, right? Right? Say, I can help in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, I can. I just need support in getting it. That's exactly what we do in the certification. But if you can help one person, you've been through something or you've got a result and you can help people get there faster, easier, with more specificity. There it is. Yeah, absolutely. You can. And I wish someone taught me what I know 20 years ago. Exactly. So for the person that is sitting still in the pain and the lack of results and not getting where they want, you are in demand right now. Right now. So I want you to write that in the chat as we're getting started with some of these keys. I want you to write, I am in demand now, in the chat. I want you to practice that, because whether it's as you're going through in the certification, as you're becoming more well-known, as you're transforming people's lives and they're becoming raving fans and they're telling people about you and there's a buzz about you, and then now you're opening the doors through coach launch formula we teach inside the certification, and it's just this nice easy road. How awesome is it that even if, like, where you stand right now, you are in demand. But where you will stand in certification is not the best kept secret anymore. You will become known, seen, heard, and the go-to person in your niche. The demand belief starts now. That's the key belief. And after certification, that becomes a reality. Now, the key activity here is connection, connecting with the clients, your very first one or your very next one, if you've been going for a while, and connecting in a way that creates their transformation. I want you to be done telling them what you did. Now, you teach them steps, that's fine. But when it comes to when things get in the way for them, when things get blocked, it's that connection and knowing the model that really, really helps. So that key activity is connecting. So I want to dive in at this point into the thoughts, actions, and belief, what I call the coach's 6-figure code or coach's millionaire code at each level of your coaching business. So before I do that, I actually love to ask for permission. So would you give me permission to go ahead. Are you ready to learn the Coach's Millionaire Code? Like, what thoughts, what actions, what beliefs do I need at each level of my coaching business to go from here to here to here to there? So if that is something you want to learn, because like I said, no one else is teaching this out there, and it's so step by step. I'm like, this shouldn't be the best kept secret, but for my certification clients, it's not. And this is the thing I want you to be done with: guessing, comparison, feeling like you don't know. Those are horrible feelings in the coaching industry. Horrible feelings when you're trying to just want to help people, want to make a difference, right? All right, so I'm waiting to see if I got your permission. Permission granted. Okay, good, good, good. All right, let's dive in. All right, don't get overwhelmed. You don't need to send a screenshot. We can take a screenshot if you'd like, but this is, I'm going to go through each level. So we're going to go in detail, but this is where we go. We start, there's a starting level. That's kind of 0 to 12K in your business. Then we get some traction. That's like going to about 30K to 60K. And then we hit the growth level. Now that's getting to that 6-figure level, a little under to your 6-figure level. And then from there, we're going to the lead level. And that's when we're past 6 figures. We're heading from 100 to 300,000. And then we get to that freedom level. Put freedom. And I'm curious in the chat, which level are you shooting for? Which level are you shooting for? As you look at this, freedom is at the $1 million mark. And of course, legacy is at that 8-figure mark, that 10+ figure mark. I'm curious in the chat, in your mind, this really helps me know you. What are you shooting for? Where's the level you're shooting for? And while you're doing that, I want to share with you, I want you to observe something. Each of these levels, they build on each other. So in other words, if you pop for some reason to 6 figures, have a big client, but you don't do what's in the starting and the traction, you will absolutely slide back down. So they grow on each other. But I'm really curious. I'm going to jump in here. So freedom level, legacy. A lot of you shooting for legacy. Love it. My type of people. Freedom and legacy all day long. I love it. Okay, let's dive in a little bit. Now, as I'm diving in, I'm going to go through the starting level. If you're at the starting level, congratulations, because you're in a room and you're going to get an opportunity to become certified to where this starting level gets you all the way up, because these are all the steps we're going through, right? So I'm so excited for you to be starting the right way. But if you're just getting started, and this is where you're at, you're between 0 and 12K, no shame, because you're light years ahead of most people, is put starting. Now, if you're, let me go back. If you're at the traction level, you're somewhere between 30 and 60K, put traction in. I want to know, where are you now? So I know where you want to go. Now I want to know, where are you right now? Are you just getting started? So you're in that 0 to 12K. Are you in traction? Are you in the growth phase? Are you in the lead phase or beyond? So tell me in the chat. I'm going to just start here with the starting phase, because I know a lot of people are here because of a lot of the broken models and methods they've been on that upside down triangle, right? So let me see, a lot of starting, but I feel like we have traction. Love it, Mary. Good. And doing it the right way. So a lot of starting, but that's great. So doing it the right way. So starting, here's what's happening. At this level, you're kind of dabbling in terms of time. You probably still have a 9 to 5, right? So you're dabbling, you're using your kids' nap time, nighttime, you're fitting it in, right? Now, the thinking at this phase is, my past creates a coaching solution. I've been through something, I want to help people. This is the thinking at this level. The identity I have right at this place is, I'm dabbling, I'm starting, right? That word starting is kind of like a dabbling. It's like, I'm getting it going. It's not there yet, but I'm starting. And by the way, congratulations. If you're starting, you're ahead of 97% of people that never do. So I just want you to acknowledge that in yourself. The biggest need at this level is taking very specific action. So not all the action that the gurus and this marketing, no. Very specific action. I showed you that in that correct triangle with the right foundation, right? The actions that you're taking right now, no surprise, is you're acquiring knowledge. You're here right now acquiring knowledge. So you're in the perfect place to be doing that. One of the questions you're asking yourself, which is a fear Fear-based is, what if I fail? What if I can't get this thing off the ground? What if this won't really work? Another question you're asking yourself is, who do I want to serve? Who do I want to serve? We're going to talk niche a little bit right now. I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Super important. The belief you have right here is, I want to grow a coaching business. I'm not there yet, but I'm starting and I want to grow a coaching business. And to up level, to get past this 0 to 12K, you've got to understand who you serve and you got to be able to speak to them. All right. So since a lot of you said you were starting, I want to talk about that. And you've probably heard this a lot. Know your niche. Who do I serve? Now, a lot of Beth is here, a master certified neuro coach. A lot of my certified neuro coaches are here. We have a mastermind called the 6-Figure Coach Mastermind. That's a post certification opportunity. And we were in San Diego together and I was deep diving on this topic. Who do I serve? Why? Because as you grow, even then you've got to do what I'm teaching you today. So pretty cool. You're learning kind of the same things, but in a different flavor. So the biggest mistake, I want to help everyone. I get it. You do want to help everyone. That's that big heart of yours, part of your coach's personality type, right? You want to help everyone. It's very general. And here's a great example. I'm going to help people with productivity. I'm going to help them be more productive in their life. Okay, but unfortunately, imagine walking into a really crowded, loud room. Do we agree? Put loud in the chat if we know that the internet is loud, that there's lots of noise in the internet, that there's lots of stuff being said and constant reposting, posting, reposting. There's a lot of noise in the chat. There's a lot of noise in the chat. Mary, I see you, and I think you're going to uncover why. There's probably some little roadblocks that are there. Our thinking is already full-time and out there, podcast blog. So you've got a lot of doing, but maybe the foundational elements, and we'll talk about that. All right. So nobody thinks it's noisy. I'm going to wait for that. Is it the internet noisy? Is it noisy? Tell me in the chat. Yeah, very noisy, very noisy. So imagine walking into a super crowded room with everybody saying productivity, productivity. It's just the same sound, right? And it's getting drowned out. Maybe that's why people aren't able to hear you. So I'm going to show you what we call micro niching. Micro niching, write that down. So it's taking a niche that you start with and getting it to the level where people can hear you. So for example, we're taking this productivity path. Now, see the different level when I say productivity for coaches. Now, if I'm a coach in that crowded room, I'm leaning in because I'm a coach, identity. I'm a coach, and you can help me be more productive. So now you've taken millions of people and yes, it's a smaller group, but it's a smaller group that is listening to you. So my question to you is this: do you want to be in millions that are not listening to you, or in 100,000 that are listening to you? Tell me that answer in the chat. We're doing real things today. I hope you don't mind. I'm actually showing you something that's going to move the needle while you're here with me live today, tomorrow, and Thursday, because this is what's working. And I don't want to see you spinning your wheels and not getting the traction that you deserve, right, anymore. Right? They're listening, right? You want them to be listening. You want them to be listening. Yeah, absolutely. I love the emojis. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, now let's just keep playing with this so you can see the concept of micro niching, right? And we help you go deep personally in this, in the certification. Now, imagine if you were not just productivity for coaches, but moms that are coaches. Now I'm in that room, and if I'm a mom and I'm a coach, because moms have different things than just general people, right? So now if I'm in the room and I'm a mom and I'm a coach, now I am not just leaning in, but I am like walking closer to you, because I'm like, oh, she gets me. He understands me. I'm a mom and I'm a coach, and I have to deal with my kids, and I have to, because you're using the language that they're using on a daily basis so they can hear you even more clearly. In fact, they're telling the other people to get out of the way so that they can get to you, so that they can get to you. This is how you become well known, right? This is part of it. Imagine if you keep going and you're like, I don't want to just be moms that are coaches. I want to be moms that are health coaches, because that's a whole different genre. So now is it a smaller group? Yes, but here's what I want to propose to you. Trying to help everyone is a safety mechanism. Hear me. Safety mechanism that says, if I take the million and I bring it down to 100,000, I might not get enough clients. That's scarcity. You've already learned, if 1 million people aren't listening to you and 100,000 are going to now listen to you, or even if we pulled it in, maybe it's 10,000 people that let's go all the way down so that I'm not, that are, say I'm a productivity corporate C-suite health coach for mom. So maybe now I'm down to like 10,000 people, but they're hearing me and drowning every other person out. To you, you are the most popular, most well-known, most influential person in their life. So I'm going to ask you this question. Do you want the million, or do you want the 10,000 that you are their most ideal person to work with? Would you guys be okay with 10,000 people wanting to coach with you versus 1 million? Are you starting to get the vision for why micro niching is so powerful? It's so powerful because there's a saying in our world in Uganda where we help orphans. It's like hungry stomachs don't have ears. It's hard to help those kids and talk to them if they're super, super hungry. Well, you know what? It's the same thing with attracting clients. It's hard to get clients to hear if you're not talking their language. It's hard to get people to hear when you're not talking your language. The key answer to that is micro niching. So tell me in the chat, we're going to look at this over the next couple of days, but tell me in the chat what your niche is now. And if you don't know, say, I don't know my niche yet, and I need support with that. And that's great. We do that as well inside the certification. But tell me in the chat what your niche is now and how could you take it into a little bit more micro niche so people can hear you? I'm going to wait to see that while I take a drink, and we're going to go to the next piece. Stephanie, I love that, like endometriosis coach. So I'm somebody that not just as a health coach, I'm helping a very specific thing that people deal with. Now, you could take that even to a certain moms or women or men or a certain age, and it would be different language, if that makes sense. Lisa's a health coach for moms. Awesome. Let's move that into a little bit more micro niche. What age moms? What stage are their kids in? Right? Because it's different language if I have tiny littles and I need to recover my health versus teenagers, adults that are my kids. Make sense? So let's move it in a little bit. Jermaine's like, I don't know exactly. Jermaine, it's okay. There's a whole entire training on uncover my niche inside the certification. Lillian's introverts. Okay, but we need a lot more than that. Introverts, what outcome do the introverts want? Where do they want to go? What age are they? Right? Those kind of things. Immigrants and refugees, I love this, who need help in their career. Accelerator, who immigrated to the US and Canada in the last 10 years. Awesome. Love it. So now I'm taking like the million down to immigrants and refugees, and they need help with their career in the US or Canada, right? So how can I move that in just a little bit more? Do they have families that they need to take care of? Are they a certain age? Let's look at that a little bit deeper, because in general, for people who do immigrate, there's very wide differences. Some of them are Labor Day workers. Some of them are C-suite people. Who are you talking to? What are they aiming for? Right? So this is how we can get into it a little bit more. Lisa, gut health for menopausal women. I love it. Okay. And we can play with that even a little bit more, Lisa. What kind of women? Are these motivated women? Are these driven women? Are these working women? Like, so you see, we can really get into that a little bit more. All right. So let's keep going because we're already at an hour and I said I'd be 45 minutes. So I'm going to go pretty quick. We're about to wrap up today's training with a couple more things. And I'll let you know what we're doing tomorrow and the next day. You're not going to want to miss any of these days. And I've gotten already a couple DMs, people saying, I just heard the doors are open to apply for the certification. They are open. So just put this link in your browser, go to beacertifiedcoach.com. And the process we take you through is a call to a call in an application and go that route. Is a very small groups that we take you through. I'm not going to go into a lot about certification right now, but those of you who are asking me, the doors are open. And if you want to grab those seats before they fill up, go to beacertifiedcoach.com. All right, so let's keep going. This is the traction level. Traction level is that 30 to 60K. So a couple of you were at this place. Here's the thing. At the traction level, we want to make sure that all of the items, the key items on the starter level, that we have mastered those, right? That we have mastered those. We really know our niche. We really have micro niche so that people are hearing us, so that when we move into this traction phase, that we don't lose momentum. There's nothing worse than getting some traction and then coming back down. So as we're going through this traction phase, you're probably still part-time unless there's support coming from elsewhere. You might be working part-time at a job and part-time as your coaching business, or you might have transitioned to full-time with some support coming in other places. Now, my thinking has gone from my past creates a solution to my solution solves a problem. Do you see that progress? So when we start, it's like, hey, I've gone through something, I have a result, and I want to help. Now it's not just that, it's like my solution, my personal solution that I have solves a problem. Now, you still have a little identity as a side hustler. You're probably telling people, I've got this coaching business on the side, or you're not quite, still a little bit of a side hustle identity involved in it. The biggest need right at this stage are the habits, coaching the right way, making sure you're selling the right way, making sure some of the habits are there so that you're super consistent when those raving fans start recommending you to other people. The action right at this level is showing up consistently. Showing up consistently. Now, that is a cornerstone of our model of opening the doors called Coach Launch Formula that we teach inside the certification. Here's the coolest thing of all. 100% of the people who do Coach Launch Formula, inside the certification get their first clients, cover the cost of the certification, and then keep multiplying with the same model. So showing up consistently is kind of part of that model. We bake that in. The fear to erase at this point, and is not, will I fail? It's that no one's listening to me. So this feeling that no one's hearing me, that I'm the best kept secret, is what the fear that's happening that I have to erase at this level. Because some people are, but there's this fear that no one's going to keep listening to me to keep going, right? The question at this point is, can I do this? And then that feeling of I'm having to do it all at this place, and can I do it? Why can't I do it all? Like there's a lot to do at this place. So you feel a little bit like you're on a hamster wheel, a little, if you're doing it the old fashioned way. And the beliefs go from I want to I can, because you have sales. And so your brain believes it now. It's like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I've got a fear that no one will listen to me and it'll stop, but I can do this, right? So we've got to overcome that. Now to up level here, we've got to monetize your value. What do I mean by that? Let's dive into that. To monetize your value, you've got to find your people. Where are the people that I serve? So the last level was who do I serve? Now it's where are my people at, right? Where are my people at? If you need to know that answer to that question. So the biggest mistake here, starting new channels. Do you know now there's 40 Let me see. This is the next one. Clapper, right? Clapper is now a thing. TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. It'll be 5 more by the time I finish this training. So what the biggest mistake we struggling coaches make is they feel like they have to be everywhere, so they're nowhere. And they're starting new channels and new revenue streams or places to get their message out because I got to be heard. I got to find my people. That feels pretty frantic, right? Frantic. If that feels frantic, having to be everywhere. Feels like high school again, where you're trying to be popular. You're trying to be in the popular crowd. Are you there? Can I try it here? It's a little desperate. Can I get an amen on that one? That feeling like I got to point and dance in order for people to want to buy my coaching. Like, who's ready to be done with that? Right? Okay, so what do we do instead? We call this OPA in our community. We borrow audiences. This is other people's audiences. And this is something we teach exclusively in the certification. How do you borrow an audience? How do you serve in other people's audience? How do you help audience leaders in an area that they don't coach in so that it helps their people and it's a win-win and your people come to coach with you as well? How to get on podcasts, get on live trainings, live summits, and train inside of other people's groups. Like some of you might know me from me doing exactly what I'm preaching right now. I train frequently inside of Shalene Johnson's group. I've trained inside of Amy Porterfield's group, Pat Flynn's group. Wednesday, I'm training inside the Women's Real Estate Network group. So these connections, remember I said one of the key things of action is connection. Instead of pointing and dancing, unless that's your thing, and then get on with your bad self, but unless that's not you, how about we do what's in alignment with our coach's personality type, which let's go help people. Let's OPA other people's audiences with your perfect people in there, make it a win-win where you're serving their community in a way that they can't. Now you've helped them. They're your biggest fan. They want you to come coach in their community, and that draws your perfect person to you. Right? Easy. Do you start to see that this doesn't have to be what all the online marketers have sold you? All right? Frantic and desperate. Yes, agreed. Thank you for your grace on the water drinking. I've just got to get my voice back. And Texas is the land of allergies, so I'm trying not to get them. All right, so I want to talk about tomorrow. And as we do that, I want to ask you, where is one place that you can think of on the internet that your people are, a Facebook group, somebody else's audience, that you know your best clients are there? And it's very possible that you could go help and serve in that community and just naturally attract them to you. So just name that community. I want you to just to like be in the action, not in the learning and the knowledge, because remember, information doesn't create anything. Information has to become revelation through action so it can become inspiration for you to create the financial freedom that you want. So tell me in the chat, what's a community that you can think of right now? Now we'll deep dive into that in the certification. And tomorrow, as you're writing that, tomorrow, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you my model. Now, I gave you a little snippet just now, but I'm going to go through my entire step-by-step system of creating demand without the TikTok dancing, without the pointing. And this is based in coach's personality type. So we're going to dive into that tomorrow. We're also going to teach you something that I've been alluding to called the coach launch formula, how to sell based on your personality type without the sleazy marketing. And then lastly, we're going to dive into coaching the right way, which, as you can see, we've talked about is the foundation, so that you can see this system of, if I take the step of knowing how to create transformation, I get it 100% of the time, then I'm creating raving fans. They're selling for me. They're creating demand for me. and therefore I get to just open the doors and let my best clients in. So that is what we're doing tomorrow. If this has been a valuable training for you up till now, I would love to let me know in the chat, just 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, like has today been like you've taken away some things that you didn't know before today, and be back here tomorrow, 12 p.m. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Each day builds on itself. So really important that you're here each day. And for those of you who are ready to get certified and you don't want the slots to sell out, go to beacertifiedcoach.com, beacertifiedcoach.com. And if you could put that in, Lindsay, that would be great. I'm going to pop that in the chat where I can. And here's the thing. If you can tell, I've been coaching coaches for the last 10 years. You're meant to be well known. You're meant to deeply, deeply serve other people. And you're meant to become the person who creates freedom in your life and makes a difference in others. It's a big deal what you've chosen to do. It makes a difference. And doing it the right way and knowing the right path is vital, because there are people waiting for you to be able to say yes to your coaching and transform their lives. We get to do one of the most incredible things in the world. We get to be a part of change and growth for people. And so this training is going to be packed with very specific steps for you to do that. And the best step of all, of course, is getting into the certification. I will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we'll deep dive into day 2 of the Coach Launch Accelerator. I'll see you then. Bye.